Hey everybody, it's Heiden, and I'm back with a live stream of War in the Pacific Admirals Edition. This is the June 1942 update for my Macho campaign. Obviously, I started a second campaign with a guy named Goodbye, but I don't have a lot of videos on that yet. This is the main gig. Hey Renew, nice to see you. It's been a while. You're always the first one here. I love that. Thanks for showing up. So the reason we're doing this live stream tonight is because I haven't done one in a while, and my Macho campaign is currently on hold, and I don't have any more videos to show you. I've been running kind of about a 2-week delay, and I kind of liked it for OPSEC purposes, but Macho's currently busy. He's off on a work trip, and he's going to be gone for about a month, and I've run through all my videos, so I figured I would take this opportunity to give you guys the deep dive that I like to do every few months on this campaign. So the date right now is June 1942, and I like to start with Tracker, because it has all the good information. So if you're looking on your screen right now, you'll see a War in the Pacific tracker for this campaign. It says Helson, but it's not actually Helson. I never changed that title. It's Macho. So here's where we're at right now. The win ratio is 4.64 to 1. We lost some points last turn, and I think it's because of... Was this some base expansion? Yeah, so I had some bases that lost some supply. I lost some points, and he expanded some bases, about 100 points worth. So we had a little bit of a victory point flop there, but I can fix this. I can gain this back quickly. One thing you need to remember when you're playing Japan, once you get above 4 to 1, it gets extremely difficult to maintain that ratio, because every point the Allies get, you as the Japanese player have to get 4 points or more to maintain your ratio. So it's the denominator, right? As the Japanese, you want to keep the denominator as low as possible, which means once you get to this point in the war and you're trying to get an auto victory, you don't want to give the enemy points, right? You want to get points and not give them points. It's actually better to not give the allies points than for you to get points, or else you end up with your win ratio falling down. The high water mark for our campaign was right here, 4.89 to 1. And that was after Bandung fell and a couple other things. And since then, it's been slowly trending down. But I'm pretty confident I can keep it where it's at. Let's take a look at my industry. Here's the chart. Everything's going pretty good here. We're making pretty good gains and everything except oil. We're still running a 5,000 ton a day oil deficit, and quite honestly, that's just going to be the way it's going to be for the remainder of the campaign. There's only so much oil on the map, and I've taken what I can take. The only other things I could do is repair some oil facilities, but I don't have that many left to repair. I captured almost every oil base intact, so there's really not a lot of oil for me to get, and we're just going to be running a deficit, and it is what it is. All right, let's take a look at this. This is one of my crowning achievements right here. This is basically the health of the home islands, right? This tells you your supply, fuel, resource, and oil consumption in the home islands. So as you can see here in mainland Japan, our supply is doing just fine. We've got 1.2 million supply in the home islands, and that is more than enough to get us to the end of 1942 with the combat ops tempo that I'm sustaining right now. Think about it. At the beginning of the campaign, you start with 1.3, and I'm only down 1 million after everything we've done. That's really good. Okay, fuel. We've been bringing fuel back in for a while. We start with 2.5 million. I still have 2.5 million, guys. So we have no issues with fuel or supply in Japan right now. We're actually running a surplus. Resources, another big one for me. This is probably the most important industry you've got as Japan, because everything runs off resources. Heavy industry, light industry. If you don't have resources, you don't have any of that. Okay, you start with 5 million, guys. We're up to 9.4 million. All right. Right now I have 112 day surplus of resources in Japan. I could stop shipping resources for the next 112 days and still have enough to run all my industry. With oil, it's even better. We're up to 220 days, which means that we can get all the way to 1943 without bringing in a drip of oil more. So for scenario 1, I think this is really good. We're doing fine. I don't have any resource constraints really at this time. Oil is the only thing, but even then I'm not that worried about it. I start with 2.7. I still got 1.7 left, and I have oil all over the Empire that I haven't even shipped yet. We'll talk about that. Okay, so I'll keep tracker on in the background in case anybody wants to see something later. Let's continue on, though. Let's take a look at our industry here. And I like to sort by things that I'm currently repairing. Tell you what, we'll actually look at aircraft R&D. It's going. I will say this. If I had known what I know now when I set up this research and development, I would not have done this. I don't think it's well optimized for the game that I'm trying to play right now. Initially, I expected this game to be a long haul and go all the way to the end because I thought that Macho would do better or I would do worse, but this is looking like it's within sight of auto victory, and the way my R&D is set up is not correct for that, right? Like, oh, Tojo's repaired. That's good. It's set up for a long haul game, and we're playing a short haul game, so, you know, live and learn, I guess. Okay, engine manufacturer. We should have the HA60 engines coming online here next month. HA32s, I got a good surplus. HA33s, I'm chronically low, and I always have been from the start of the campaign. I'm building more. HA43 R&D is going to take forever. HA34s, I have a surplus for the 500 engines so that we can keep researching aircraft that use those. I have 516 surplus HA35 engines, so maintain research on that. HA45s, we actually may get before the end of 1942. So we're making about 6 research points a day, so we should get this in around October or November. Okay, Azope, nice to see you here. So I want to explain to you guys that I screwed something up really bad on my aircraft production. You may see a guap of A6M 3A zeros in production. This was not intentional. So these were R&D aircraft that I had intended to roll into A6M5s and maybe convert a couple of my zero production lines to making these aircraft. But instead, because I did not properly catch it in time, they flopped over into production factories. And now I'm stuck producing 180 A6M3A zeros per month. That is not great, but at the same time, it's not the worst thing ever either, because the A6M30 is actually really good. I've done these comparisons in the past, but I'm going to show you why, even though this sucks and for the long term, it's not good. If I'm trying to AV this guy, it's not the end of the world. What is it? Error comparison. So it was like a happy little accident, I guess you can call it. Air comparison. Oh, air comparison. There we go. So if we look at IJ Navy, the A6M2 here, or the M6A3, you get a pretty big quantum leap in capability here, right? The range goes up quite a bit. Your altitude goes up a lot. Your maneuver band actually goes up and stays higher longer, so that's good. Yeah, so it's just like a souped up it's a souped up A6M2, and now we have it, and we're going to be able to re-equip all of our Zero squadrons with this way better aircraft sooner. Still doesn't have armor, but it's just more capable, more range. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, we're producing a lot of A6M3s, A's, and in a matter of 2 months, I'll be able to almost have nothing but these running. All right, so that's the production. Everything's looking good here, guys. Also, pools of resources are looking good. So I've got 92,000 armaments points, 6,400 vehicle points. I'm good. All right, so let's go around the map, and I like to do this counterclockwise. So here in the Bering Sea, I never did go for the Aleutian Islands, and I kind of regret it now, but it is what it is. You'll notice here that ADAC has been fully built up, or almost fully built up, and I do believe that if we get to that point in the campaign where he goes after the north part of Japan, this is where he's going to jump off from ADAC. And I wish I hadn't let him have this base, because it's very powerful. His subs can operate here with a short run to and from. Okay, he's also starting to build up other bases like Shimiya, Atu. He's going to start building these bases, and he's going to use these to attack me. I already know. I do have troops on all the bases that matter here, and I'm continuing to strengthen this line, bringing more aircraft up here, and getting ready for an allied probe in the north later on. Okay, in China, different story. We're doing really, really, really good here. He's got a few units that are still on the loose, like this guy here, these guys here, and this guy here. And we got a unit down here, and a unit down here. So he's definitely trying to make a move here. So this unit's probably moving to Nanning, and he's going to look to take it. And quite honestly, he'll probably pull that off, because I just am rushing to get troops down here, but it's taking a really long time. And I don't know if they're going to make it in time. So, like, I have this regiment that'll be in Henyang tomorrow. Then they got to pack up for strat move mode, and just to get here, unpack and move here. So honestly, this unit will probably take Nanning before I can get back to it. I do have units on the way to counterattack this, but I kind of let this get a little out of control. It's not the end of the world. There's not much he can really do. Nanning isn't worth much to me. It's just it's a nuisance. In Chongqing, things are going extremely well. I still have 8,000 AV in the hex. I'm almost ready to attack again. The only thing I'm waiting for is some fatigue and disruption levels to come down. So I have 8,000 AV here. I've got 800 here, and another almost 4,000 in this hex. So we have about 13,000 AV to be using at Chongqing at any given time. But what I'm doing is I'm rotating units in and out. I'm rotating units in and out to, you know, keep them fresh. ASUS, could I send paratroops? Honestly, I probably could. I do have some units that I can ship in here, but the problem is this looks like it might be a pretty effective unit. What kind of terrain is that? Wooded. We have no forts. I could get some paratroopers in here, but I don't know if they'd be able to hold us off unless I bomb the ever-living daylights out of this unit before it got here. Maybe we'll try that. Maybe I can send some paratroopers from Burma, drop them off at Nanning just to hold the line until the better units get in. That's actually not a bad idea, Azo. That's not a bad idea. So I've got paratroopers all through Burma that could potentially do this job. And that might buy me some time. And I'll just turn my bombers loose on this unit for a couple days, right? We'll bomb this thing until it gets in here and weaken it even more. He has no supply, and he's probably demoralized. And we do have terrain on our side, so maybe a little bit of paratroopers plus heavy bombing will hold the line a little bit. Not a bad idea. Yeah, he doesn't have any supply. There's no supply up in here. All right, so that's China. Chongqing's going good. The forts are down to level 2 now. So size 2 forts, which means every day when I send my bombers to ground attack Chongqing, we're actually getting a lot of kills on his troops, which is a good thing. And that's lowering his AV even more. I think we can take Chongqing in the next 2 months. I think by August of 1942, we'll have it at the rate that it's going. And I'm being really conservative with the way that I attack. Adam, China is a lost cause when you have the entire Kwantung army to use. If you're playing with political points rules, it's a lot harder to get to this point under normal circumstances. As Japan, you can get here, but it takes longer. When we got rid of our political point rule, it allowed me to bring in a lot more units from Kwantung, which helped speed things up a bit. But Macho also made a lot of bad choices here too. So it's a combination of bad play and having a little extra force. But long term, China is really screwed against a good Japanese player. Especially when they get into Burma, cut the Burma road, and cut any supply ingress from India. Then it's really, really bad. Speaking of Burma, things are going fine here. we have a line established from Rangoon all the way up to Myitkyina. And the only issue that I really see here, actually, hold that thought. Let's get my epic pen out. The only real issue that I see in Burma right now is this pocket of Chinese troops here. He's got a lot of troops here. 160,000, 180,000, 200,000. About 220,000 troops in this pocket. Now, granted, they're heavily degraded and they're low on supply, but they're still there. And I don't know what his plan is with them. It looks like he's slowly trying to work his way. If you look at the move arrows here, which you may not be able to see on your screen, this unit's going that way, this unit's going that way, then these units are going that way. So it appears to me that he's trying to get back into India. And there's really nothing I can do to stop them because I can't really cut them off, right? I don't want to be in this train any more than he does. And I might be able to get a division or two in here, but it's going to be difficult. I could try, but it'd be hard. Let me see if I can... There's a button that you can use to show if a hex is passable or not. Oh, I think it's F6. Alright, so we can still kind of get through here. These red hexes here are hex sites you cannot pass through. But he's got some river crossings and stuff, but nothing that would really stop him from getting back into India. And I just don't really have the troops to extend the line out here and stop this. So I'm just going to let them go and just focus on my thing and building a wall here. I'm not too worried about going on the offensive any further in here. I'm more worried about holding this line against any attack. And I feel like I've got the troops in place to do that. Even though he's got a lot of troops up here as well. Like, this is going to be, once the South Pacific is resolved, this is where the battle is going to end in 1942, is in this area. And I'm just watching him to see what kind of moves he makes here. But I've got a lot of forces here too. I've probably got about 5,000 AV of some of my best divisions here in Burma, because this is really where the line is that I need to hold at this point. Right, there's nothing to see in the Dutch East Indies because we own all of it. There's nothing here. We own all of it. All the way down to Darwin. To the Solomons. And right now... what level airfield is Lashio? Let's see. Lashio can be a natural 4, so a max of a 7. Lashio can be a max of a 7. I'm currently in the process of expanding the airfield and building up the forts here. And the reason I'm doing that is to increase the supply throughput here, the max. When you build infrastructure, you increase this throughput, and I need the throughput to these bases, like at Myitkyina and Bamo, which have very low supply throughputs in and of themselves. So I'm trying to reduce bottlenecks in here. Yeah, I own Lashio. All right, getting back to the main topic. This is where the battle's at right now, guys. So this is New Caledonia, and last turn we captured Kumak, which is great, but I see a problem here, is that he still has probably about 600 AV here, and I'm guessing about 150 to 200 AV here. And if you may not be able to see it on your screen, but right here at Lafoa, there's a move arrow of this unit, and he's clearly heading back to Kumak at this time. And I'm assuming in an attempt to retake the base. I don't know all what's in this unit. I would imagine it's some sort of armored regiment or something of that effect. So what that means is that I need to quickly find a way to safely get troops back into Kumak and reinforce and build up this base back. Because I do not want to give it back. If you take a look at the screen here, you'll see that we captured 8,000 supply here when we landed. I did not bring 8,000 supply into the base. No way. I brought a couple thousand supply. And the rest of this is stuff that we took from him. I do not want him to have that supply back, because right now, the troops on New Caledonia, the Allied troops, only have what he brought in. So I don't know what he's got here, but it can't be that much because the air capacity of Lafoa is only 2, which means that the supply cap is very low. Let me see if I found another base as... So that means his supply limit's probably around 15,000 or something. So he can't have that much supply on this island to begin with. Now we took 8,000 of it away from him. I need to get troops in here to reinforce this battered and bruised Naval Guard unit that died getting in here. And I need to hold this line, and then what we're going to do here is over time, I'm going to bring in more reinforcements into Kumak, and we're going to start pushing down this way and give him the old Chinese finger trap, because I own Noumea, and there's absolutely zero chance of him taking it back from me. He has zero chance for that. Because I brought in another division, and I have 31,000 supply. The base is completely undamaged. I'm building the airfield. The forts are size 4. All right, so we have double the AV that he's got on ×3 terrain on size 4 forts. He would need to bring in 4,000 AV at this point to take this base back from me, and there's absolutely no way, because we more or less control the sea around New Caledonia. Like, if I show you my patrol zones here, these are my subs. So I've got a little blockade going on, and he's not going to be able to get AKs back in here. For one, my subs are going to pick them apart, and 2, GIGABYTE is basically sitting right here, and he is scared to death of it. Every time I bring it in, his carriers go away. Alright? So GIGABYTE can just go up and down here patrolling New Caledonia, and will be an aerial denial weapon to keep him from bringing any troops back. Right? And on top of that, because I own Noumea, I can bring in land-based there to support this. I can bring in 200 land-based fighters to Noumea whenever I want to, and that is in addition to the almost 400 fighters that are on GIGABYTE right now. So I can bring 600 fighters to this AOR at any given time, and he can't do that at all. He can only bring whatever his carriers can carry, right? And he can't use Lafoa because it's at risk of getting bombarded or attacked or bombed, right? And he doesn't have the air capacity for it. So at most he could get maybe 100 fighters in here, but that's not what I can bring. So, you know, I'm owning New Caledonia right now, and what I'm trying to do, the long-term goal here is to completely destroy all of the Allied troops on New Caledonia and just do what we did to him in Ceylon, because if we do that, he's done for. Like, there's just no coming back from that. I don't think. Not in 1942. We've already destroyed 3 to 4 divisions on Ceylon, and now he's got another 2 or 3 divisions worth of troops here without supply, and they're cut off, and we own the sea lanes, so there's really nothing he can do. So what I don't have is enough troops to actually pull off a counterattack right now, because even though I have 1,200 AV here, he's got 600. It's good quality, and if I attack him at Noumea, he now gets the train bonus, right? So now I'm going to get chewed up attacking him. And I really don't want to do that unless I have at least 3-to-1 odds on him, which I do not have yet. So I'm kind of on hold until I can get more divisions onto New Caledonia to counterattack him and slowly squeeze him in. But I feel like I can do that better than he can do it right now. Right? We also have Afate and Espiritu Santo, which are very important bases for us. I feel like I can. Can I kill the divisions? Yeah, because like, what can he really do here? My carriers are just as strong, if not stronger than his. Plus, I have land-based air. Plus, the rest of the IJN is currently en route. So, I'm bringing in multiple battleships, multiple cruisers, dozens of destroyers down here to supplement what I already have down here. So we will be on parity, if not better, surface force-wise than he will. I definitely have more battleships than he does now because he killed all his at Nemea. The only battleship that's down here that he's got that we've seen is the Hood. Prince of Wales is dead, so we've seen the Hood. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Hood? I meant Repulse, not Hood. The Repulse is down here. It did survive early in the war, but that's all he's got. In addition to that, I actually haven't brought it down yet, but look at this. I'm getting this unit ready to head down, right? It's currently doing some last-minute adjustments to some things here. But I'm just about ready to send down the Hio, which is another carrier, Yamato, and more destroyers. I'm just waiting for a couple more destroyers to put in there and send it down. So that's going to be a big game changer when we get Yamato down there. There's nothing he's got that can take that out. So, yeah, I'm feeling confident that we can win here. Do I have the troops to send? Yes, I do. I do have troops to send, but the problem is that they're still working their way down to Shanghai. So essentially, if you look at this, I've got a division here and 2 independent mixed brigades that I am sending down to Shanghai. So they're going to move up to Wuchang and rail over to Shanghai. So that's about... let's see, what do I got in this? 3 additional artillery regiments, 1 division, and 2 independent mixed brigades. That's immediately what I have to send. I have more stuff that I can send. I could actually disengage another division or 2 from the fight on Chongqing and send them down as well. And I've already pre-positioned transport ships. As you can see, I've already pre-positioned a number of transport ships here in Shanghai to receive those troops. And I've got some of my faster ones here. Right, I've got 18, 21 speed AMCs and AKTs. And some APs that can also do 4 hexes a turn. So I have plenty of ships to get those troops down there quickly. It will take a little bit of time. I do have some battleships down here, and it would not be a bad idea to start doing some shuttle bombardments of Lafoa to start damaging this base and to take his supply like you mentioned. That's a great idea. Yeah, okay, here, one thing, Azo. Yeah, he's 4 turns from getting to Kumak, but I have an additional 400 AV of troops available on Luganville. So I can bring more troops in, and it just takes a few days. So I can pack up some troops and send them down here. It's going to take a little bit of time. So I can reinforce it enough to hold it, because here's the thing. He can't peel too many troops away, or else he risks me counterattacking this way, and his troops are going to be out of position. So I don't think he can bring enough force to retake Kumak. If I get 200 AV into Kumak, I don't think he'll be able to take it back from me. Plus, I'm going to have bombers, Kidobutai, battleships. I can bombard. I own... I own the area here right now, so like, if I get 200 AV into Kumak, there's no way he retakes it. So I'm not worried about that too much. I just need to get the troops there. Well, we have time. If this is an infantry unit, it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 5 days. 5 days or so. If it's an army unit, it's going to take him 1, 2, 3, and attack on a 4th day. But I feel like I'll have more troops in there by then. Plus, we do have a little bit of terrain on our side. Plus, I have bombers from Luganville that can bomb him before he attacks, disrupt him. I got this under control. I'm not worried about it. Okay, so the only other thing that I am a little bit concerned about long term is this. So he's on the counteroffensive here, and he's retaken basically all of Fiji, and he's just kind of island hopping and taking back some of these bases here. I am concerned about him building up Suva and using his 4-engine bombers to batter my bases over here. That is a concern for sure, and I don't really have a lot of good defense against that, except fighters and basically a flak, which we do have plenty of flak, but there's not much else I can do. So bombers are definitely a concern for sure out of Fiji once he gets this base built up. And honestly, Suva's already built up enough to do that. So, well, yeah, he kind of has. Suva is built up. It's a airfield capacity 5. So, and then plus Tonga Tapu's built up. Pago Pago's built up. But Suva is where he can launch air raids from at this time, even now, if he has the bombers to do it. So we'll have to contend with that. So that means I need to be very careful about the ships that I keep in port, right? I have some AOs here that have fuel. I have AKEs. I'm thinking about relocating them to other bases and hiding them in some dot bases, so he can't, like, because he's gonna be bombing, you know, Luganville, but he won't be bombing like any of these dot bases up here. There you go. So what are your questions, guys? I basically gave you the campaign update. Is there anything you want to see? I have tracker up. Oh, so what's the plan after you deal with New Caledonia? All right, good question. Here's the plan. We hold what we got. We go full defensive mode and just try to mitigate losses and keep him from taking stuff. If I take New Caledonia back, I do not see him capable of launching another attack on it for the rest of the year, right? Because he's going to be down more divisions. He's already down a bunch of divisions. So I don't see him capable of launching another assault on it. And the price here is Noumea because of the points that it's worth to the Allies, 700. Remember how at the beginning of the video I was talking about how vital victory points are for the Allies, right? Because if you look down here, this denominator is what determines the win ratio, right? The denominator is the Allied score. So if I were to add 700 points to this right now, plus let's say I lost 500 points in the troops that all die in Noumea. Let's say we didn't reinforce this, right? I didn't reinforce Noumea and he took it. I'd lose all the troops in Noumea. They all die. So I lose maybe 500 or 600 points for all the troops there. Plus Noumea is worth 700 points. Let me show you what that does to us win ratio wise. So we'll leave my score where it's at. So let's call it 38791 divided by 8400. So 9600 if he takes Noumea before I reinforced it. That drops our win ratio all the way down to almost 4 to 1, and that is dangerously close to losing it. Okay, so Noumea is a massive point swing for us if he were to take it away from us. So that's why I decided I was going to invest all of my effort into maintaining this base. So that's why I brought GIGABYTE back here. That's why I snuck in this extra division. Ideally, I wanted to land this division at Kumak. But at the time when I was ready to make that run in, he had a massive carrier force and a bunch of surface ships that actually outnumbered mine at the time. And I was not willing to risk an entire division at sea trying to land at Kumak. So basically, he had a huge force right here. I had GIGABYTE right here. And I had the transports like right here. And I wanted to land that division right here. If we had done that, he would have been really in trouble because we could have easily pushed down all the way to a Lafoa and kind of boxed him in. But I did not want to risk his surface vessels charging in to stop that landing. So I said, you know what? I don't want to lose this division at sea. So it's better than nothing if I drop it in Noumea, because all that's going to do is absolutely guarantee that he cannot take it. It's like, it's going to not putting the division at Kumak um, is going to make it longer for me to take this back, but it guarantees that Noumea will not fall under any circumstances. I don't think there's anything he can do for the rest of 1942 with the current state of affairs, the way they are, that would not allow me to maintain Noumea. Just not going to happen. So I'm pretty sure we have a lock on this, and by doing so, we deny him 700 critical points to that denominator that he's got to have. Azop, you asked about Chungking. This is something else that's going to really wreck him. So Chungking is worth 1,600 points to me and 800 points to him. So let me show you what that looks like point swing wise. Now, remember, he doesn't get all these victory points already. He's already losing some points because he has no supply here. So let's just let's say he's only getting 400 points out of this right now because of the supply situation. Let's do some math. So if I take Chungking, that's 1,600 points for me, right? So let me get my calculator again. Let's call it, we're going to kill about 1,000 points of allied troops there. Okay. So we'll round it up. Let's call it 40,000 plus 1,600. Okay. Divided by 7,800 or something like that. That, with Chungking falling alone, that brings the win ratio up to 5.33. And this is kind of conservative. It might actually be more than this. Okay. Then on top of that, once I take Chungking, I start building up that airfield. I can go up to a size 9 airfield. Okay. Let me tell you what the base will be worth if and when I do that. So it'd be... okay. So the dude... So it'd be 9 times 2 times 100. No, that's not right. Oh, no. 9 times 2 times 200. Chungking will be worth 3,600 points. Once I build it up all the way. Once I get the airfield to size 9. So that adds another points to my thing. I'm also working on Chang too. I'm building up the airfields there to get more points out of that. And then I also have points up here at Lanchow and signing. I have a bunch of points up at these bases that I haven't even started to extract yet. So, I mean, I have a lot of victory points left to extract out of China, guys. So, I really do think we'll get this up to 6-1 here pretty soon, in the next couple months. Good question. Okay, bypass my positions at New Caledonia and go where? Adam, where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna bypass? Like, what is he gonna take? Because he's not gonna get into Rabaul. I have a huge airfield here. I have troops there. Kido Butai's not gonna sit around while he does that. Wake Island ain't worth crap, dude. If he takes Wake Island back, that's worth 30 points. Worthless. Go ahead, you can have it back. He can take all of this. These aren't worth anything. All these bases in here are worth nothing. They're strategically important, but points-wise, they're worth nothing. He could take every one of these bases back, and it doesn't hurt me that much. Right? I'm garrisoned on the bases that matter. Rabaul, 400 points. Port Moresby, 700 points. Afate, 350. Luganville, 750, and rising. Noumea, the points are here. Now, Suva was a good points haul for me, right? I wish I'd kept it. It was worth almost 1,000 points. And it would have helped me to keep it. But see, it's worth a lot of points to me, but not a lot of points to him. You think he'll take back Darwin? I mean, when? Let's take a look here. Let's look at something here. As of right now, there's no troops coming up this way. So even if you want to launch an attack on Darwin, it's going to take him months to go up through this road here. Okay? I'm going to see him coming for weeks and weeks and weeks. And Darwin has a garrison of 470 troops right now. Okay. And Darwin also has forts coming up, airfield coming up. So he'd have to bring in a huge force to retake Darwin, and that huge force is dead on Ceylon or now committed over here at New Caledonia. So it's going to take him a long time to do that. So I don't think Darwin's at any danger of falling anytime soon. We're doing just fine there. What else you got? Good questions, guys. Do you know? Because if I get auto victory, I'm calling it quits, man. If I get auto victory, this does not go past 1942. I'm taking my win and I'm moving on. I play to win, guys. I don't play to watch Japan get crushed and to repeat World War II history. I'm here to do better than that. So if we get auto victory at the end of 1942, I'm calling it. I'm taking my win and I'm gonna go finish off goodbye. I'm definitely not gonna keep playing on. Let me see. What's your question, Pirate Joe? What did I miss? Did I miss a question from you? If so, please re-ask it. I'm paying attention right now. Let me know what your questions are. Okay, so when you get auto victory, Adam, the game says Japan wins. So you either stop playing right there, or both players say, okay, cool, and they click okay, and the game keeps going. It doesn't just end. It just tells you that you win. And then at that point, it's up to the players to decide how to handle it. You either say, okay, you win, I'm going to stop playing now, or you guys say, I don't care about auto victory, let's press on. Oh, what question I use? Okay, I use a thing called Epic Pen. Feldserwald. I use it's called Epic Pen, and then you basically can just move it off to the side here, and it's got some tools, and you can use it to draw pretty pictures on the map, or circle stuff, make lines. It has a bunch of different tools in there, and I love it. Epic Pen. It's free to download. Yep, Epic Pen. Oh. I don't care. Well, here's the thing, Azope. I don't care what he agreed to. If it says that I win, I'm saying that I win, and that's it. Like, he can say, I want to keep playing, and I'm going to say, that's nice. I win. Game over. He doesn't get to decide. Pirate Joe, I didn't see your question. I don't see a question from you up there. The last thing I saw you type was, oh boy, this will be fun. I'm not deleting anything that you type. Please type a question, and I'll be happy to answer it, but I haven't seen anything. I'm looking at my chat log here, and I don't see any questions from you. So just copy and paste them and type them again. Yeah, it's not me doing it. I don't delete any comments. I don't delete any messages because you guys are behaving. I don't know what it is. Keep typing it. It's not me deleting it. Trust me. They're posted. Nope, I do not see it. So there's something in the way that you typed it that YouTube does not like. So just retype it differently. Use different words. Yeah, it's YouTube censoring you, and I have no control over that. So, is NZ banned? Is New Zealand banned? Is it... What do you mean by is New Zealand banned? I don't know, man. Hey, YouTube's weird, dude. When it comes to making... When comments and stuff. Let me see if I can control that. Community moderation... No. I just type it out differently, spell it differently, I guess. Let me check to see if I have any sort of moderation on. Let's see. Details. Comments on moderation, none. So yeah, that's not me, dude. From the east via NZ. From the east via New Zealand. And do you plan on taking Australia? Well, part of your question got cut off. I don't know why. Yeah, it's not me, Pirate Joe. Do I plan on taking Australia? Unfortunately, we're way too late for that. It's way too late to take Australia because he's built up too strong and his carriers are here and he's got a huge force, surface force down here. So it would be a, consider this yes, no. Is that ban? No. Australia is no, it's not possible anymore. He's just too strong down here. For me, it's June 1942, and whatever my boundaries are what they're gonna be. So if you look on the map here, this is my empire. I'm gonna draw it. It's kind of silly, I know. These are my borders, if you can see that. That's all it's gonna be. So all I'm gonna do here, the B word for blocking trade. Oh, blockade? Blockade. Oh! I don't know why. I don't know why the word blockade is... Oh, okay. Okay. there you go. There you go, guys. Yeah, so that's... oh, okay, I'm gonna draw it again. This is fun. That's my yeah, I really can't anymore. The only thing I can do at this point is the only thing I could do is send subs down here, and that's not very reliable. No, I can't. I cannot get. We're done expanding. Like, I have allied ships here. I got ships here. He owns Fiji. He's very strong in Australia. His carriers are here. He's got a lot of cruisers down here. If I try to go offensive down here right now, he's just going to intercept it and kill it off. Also, I no longer have the amphibious bonus that Japan gets up until May. So there's just I have no capacity for be offensive here. It's a completely defensive action, with the exception that I am going on the counteroffensive in New Caledonia to finish off the Allied troops here. No, I don't think it will end because I don't think it would be a decisive carrier action. I think if his carriers and my carriers went at it right now, we would trade probably evenly. Right? So I'd lose half of mine, he'd lose half of his. I feel like that's how it would go. And that's not good for me. So it does me no good to go and seek a carrier engagement on his terms. That's why GIGABYTE is hanging out over here, under the umbrella of my land base there that can support it, right? I want him to have to come to me and fight on my terms. I want him to have to come to me where I have netties and 200 fighters at Noumea that it can long-range cap GIGABYTE. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want him to come to me and fight me on my ground. Because, honestly, I don't feel like I would just outright beat him. Hey, what's up, BSG blog? We've been doing this for about 50 minutes. I'm just doing a campaign update. We've gone through the whole map now. I'm just answering questions. No, I don't know what he'll do. But, Pirate Joe, it's extremely unlikely that he would. I just don't think that he's going to lose his carriers the way you think he will. He's really, really scared of GIGABYTE. And personally, I think his fear is a little exaggerated. And the longer the game grows, he does grow stronger. That's true. But he doesn't really get super strong until well into 1943. That's when it really becomes a problem. I still can hold an edge or maintain all the way through 1942. And if I play my cards right, this game ends in 1942 at the end of it, and I don't have to worry about the rest of it. That's what I'm playing for right now, is to end this thing before I have to deal with the material onslaught of the Allies. And we're doing pretty good along those lines. So he's down one carrier, but honestly, that carrier that he's down is not that important. It's a British carrier. It doesn't add a whole lot of value. The only thing that I'm glad that we took it out this way is that my Vals basically can't hurt that carrier, right? Because it's got an armored flight deck, and the 250 kilogram bombs that the Vals drop are pretty useless. They will not hurt that British carrier. They will definitely hurt Allied carriers because they have unarmored flight decks. Lexington did eat it. It was Saratoga, ate one torpedo, and it did not sink. No way. So, if anything, it's going to have to be in the shipyard for about a month at most, but he didn't lose it. Like, one sub-torpedo is not that damaging to an Allied carrier. It's temporarily out of the action, maybe. Or the damage was so superficial that he's the heck with it and he's going to keep it going. Let me show you this, guys. Because carriers are tougher than you think. Here you hit a mine about 4 months ago over here at Naughty. Okay, check this out. Here you hit a mine at Naughty back in February. Okay. After that, I sailed it all the way back to Singapore, refueled, and then went in to cover the landings in India, then the shifting of forces to Ceylon. Okay. Then, on top of that, I went all the way down from here, back down to South Pacific, and this is where I currently am. I've had this damage on Zuiho, not Zuiho. I've had this damage on Hiryu. Where is it? This damage has been on Hiryu for 4 or 5 months, and that's a mine hit. And I just shrugged it off, and I just keep playing. So there's always a chance that that torpedo did very little damage. And he may have some damage similar to this, and he's just the heck with it, and he can just drive on with it. I've been driving my carrier like this for months, guys. I just haven't had time to take it into the shipyard because it's going to take about 2 weeks to repair this. And I don't have time. Like, I need all of my carriers in the fight right now. Our ops tempo is such that I can't stand them down. I might be able to take Hiryu back to the home islands for repair when Hiyo gets there. Because I am sending Hiyo down here soon. And it's kind of close to the Hiryu. I can get about 58 planes off of that. Whereas the Hiryu carries 80, I guess. So it wasn't a long lance though. It was a sub-launch torpedo. So they don't have the same warhead. So a long lance is a 63 centimeter torpedo, and a submarine launch torpedo is 53 centimeter Type 95. They don't have quite the same warhead that a long lance does, so they don't do as much damage as like a destroyer torpedo does. Oh yeah, sure. I'll show you this. I'll show you what I've lost so far. Let's go Japanese ships, and we'll sort them by point value. So I have lost a lot of good ships. So I've lost the Issei, and I've lost 4 of some of my very best destroyer heavy cruisers. So that's been a loss, but you know, you gotta pay to play, right? This is what he's lost. By the way, the Saratoga did not sink, so that's erroneous. But all these other battleships are more or less confirmed as sunk. All right. And also these 2 heavy cruisers did not sink. So all these battleships, one British, one British carrier, not the Saratoga. But check this out. Look at the Allied AP losses. This is crazy, guys. Look at this list. Are you ready? Look at this list of Allied troop ships I've sunk this campaign. This is out of control. Wow. 3 TOs. Not a lot of tankers, so we didn't kill a lot of tankers. Oh, look at the sub losses, guys. Boom. I have been ripping and tearing up subs this campaign like you wouldn't believe. What's Yamato up to? Yamato is sitting over here at Kure right now, about to come on down. I'm waiting for a couple destroyers. Let me see here. Congo's in repair. That's not going to be ready anytime soon. I was waiting for a couple destroyers to come on board. Yeah, I've done it. I've done that in the past. I've hit Manila in the past. This campaign, I actually brought Kidobutai right here, and I engaged Force Z, and I got the Prince of Wales, but the repulse got away. And I would never do that again. It was so risky having Kidobutai in here, and I basically here. Let me show you what I did. I had Kidobutai. This is what I did. Kidobutai started here, and then it moved this way, killing whatever it could, and it sailed out down this way towards Rabaul. Okay. And then from there, Kidobutai came into Rabaul, rearmed, and then went down to Australia to start doing strat bombing. And this is the game where he did the Fortress Palembang. Oh, Adam, would you like to know my secret of sub-killing? I'll tell you what it is. Whenever Kidobutai is not actively engaged or in an AOR where it needs to be fighting, this is what I train the pilots. ASW. See these ASW ratings? I train my pilots on ASW whenever they're not actually in combat. And then what I do is I look for a pack of allied subs, and then I sail GIGABYTE into it, and then I go and do something like this. I'll take... this is risky. It's very risky. But here's what you do. I take all my torpedo bombers, and I put them on ASW, max range, 80%, 1,000 feet. Set all torpedo bombers. Then I take my vowels and do the same thing. Torpedo bomber. I'm sorry, dive bombers, right? I'll take them and I'll put them on where is it? ASW patrol. 1,000 feet. Max range. Set all. And then I drive them right into a pack of subs. And they just absolutely massacre submarines. And I gotta say, no one does it like me. No one takes Kidobutai and uses it as an offensive ASW weapon like I do. I've never seen anybody do it like that. It's risky because you have your strike aircraft configured in such a way that they can't counterattack if the allies come after you. And you risk getting a sub attack, right? But the risk is worth the reward to me because we've sunk so many submarines with KB. So you have to judge it. Now, also remember, Pirate Joe, with my with my carriers, I always keep a CS with them, right? I have a CS with every carrier task force, right? And these guys are also set up for ASW, so they're spotting the subs. When you spot an enemy sub, the risk of them actually intercepting your task force is very, very low, because you have visual on them, and your task force commander steers you around them. So if you spot the subs the turn before you attack them, they really can't hurt you, okay? Because you see them. So you have the detection on them so that they can't get in a position to attack you because they've been spotted. But my aircraft now know where the subs are at, so they go and drop bombs on them, right? And because my pilots are trained to do it, they do a really good job. And on top of that, not only are they attacking, they're spotting more subs and getting more detection on the remaining subs that they don't kill. So now the chance of the allied subs attacking you is even less. And what tends to happen when KB goes down there and starts destroying submarines, the allies panic and they're like, oh crap, I gotta get my subs out of here. So they don't stick around to try to get you. They try to hightail it the hell out of there, so they don't lose any more, because it's so devastating. And now you know this whole area had 10 allied subs on it 3 turns ago. There was 10 subs. Okay? So a combination of ASW with Nels and Bettys from here, plus GIGABYTE, I've destroyed or chased off every single submarine that was threatening my operations down here. So there you go. So yeah, it's risky to a point, but you have to make a risk versus reward, and it's always paid off. Spotting a submarine is enhanced by the ASW rating of the search planes that are doing it, and the altitude that you fly at. Oh, Azop, will I take this base back north of Kumak? Yes, absolutely, because I found out through recon that there's enemy PBYs here. So he's actually using this base to keep me spotted. So I'm taking this base back very soon, and that will eliminate the PBY risk from here. And then the only other risk will be from here and Suva, which unfortunately there's nothing I can do about that. So he can keep his PBYs in Suva, and he's basically going to be able to see us, and it is what it is. But I can do the same thing because I have Mavises that do the same thing that his PBYs can do. Well, nothing's 100% in this game, Adam, but it's pretty high likelihood that you'll spot subs if you go on ASW patrol with ASW trained pilots. You're probably gonna see them. And there you go. Do you see any subs anymore? Nope, they're gone. Oh, I have never played Focus Pacific. I only really got into turn-based strategy games a few years ago, and this is the game that I got. So my attention's been kind of, kept by this. Yeah, man. That one's... it didn't start off great. I'll put it to you that way. Oh, Focus Pacific. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. That mod looked like a big mess to me. Focus Pacific. I'm not interested. That basically, from what I understand, it looks like Star Wars. What I would call Star Wars in this game, where you got these guys that are crazy modders, and they just start putting in ridiculous ships and battle cruisers and all kinds of nonsense that never existed. I'm not interested in that. I bend history enough as it is, playing the way I play. That's on another level. Yeah, over on my Discord server, we call that Star Wars. Those crazy mods for this game. No thanks. Yeah, I don't. I really don't want to have 1,000 zeros and 1,000 buffaloes in Singapore in 1941. I'm good. I don't know what they got. It looks like a bunch of nonsense to me. You can talk to Pirate Joe about that. I think I think he knows more about it than I do, but what little I saw, I was not interested in it. Yeah, for everybody else that wants to play it, be my guest. Enjoy. Oh, hey, while we're just sitting here, I want to kind of end this stream here pretty quick. We're getting kind of close to a little over an hour, but we can look at my ship production. I'll show you what's coming down the pipe right now. So let me sort this by date of arrival, and we're just going to look at what's building. Building, halted, blueprinted, don't care. Let me just show you what we're going to get. Oh, building. All right. So here's what we got coming down the pipe. Let's also take out the queued. So here's what we got coming for the rest of 1942. We have the Chuyo, which is a CVE. That'll be done here. Actually, next turn I get that. Okay, cool. Another light carrier. Another standard B cargo ship, which is I'm going to convert it to a tanker. Some sub chasers. Another DMS. Okay, sure. Another submarine in June. A big tanker at the end of June. In July, we get 2 Yugamos and 1 Akazuki class destroyer, which is good. 3 more destroyers because I've lost a lot of destroyers this campaign. This will be nice to have. And just a lot of tankers and destroyers coming in between now and September. Oh, I'm also undergoing... So one issue that I have, guys, is I have more fuel and oil out in the system than I can bring back currently. Like, over here in Naval, I've got almost 200,000 oil. In Manila, I've got 60,000 fuel. Balikpapan's got tons of fuel. Surabaya, tons of fuel and oil. Palembang, I'm barely extracting it all. So one of the problems that I'm having right now is I don't have enough tankers to pull all the fuel and oil out of the Dutch East Indies. So what I'm doing, in addition to building all my tankers, is I'm taking all of these standard AKs, and I'm converting them into tankers. So every one of these ships is a AK that's being converted into a tanker right now, and this is going to give me a substantial amount of additional tanker lift capacity that I desperately need, because I have more oil and fuel out there than I can bring back. So between the tankers I'm building and these tankers here that I'm converting, that should help me out. Because if you look at our tanker losses for this campaign, they've been incredibly low. So let's look at tanker losses for the Japanese right now. I've lost 1. I've lost 1 tanker the whole campaign, and I've lost 2 AOs. And they're the slower Shiratoko class. So I've lost almost no tankers, but I've also captured so much fuel and oil that I don't have the tankers to bring it back fast enough. No, we got plenty of oil and fuel. Remember, we have Lanchow, Sion, although we can't really count on the oil from Urumqi. It's stuck there. I think we have enough oil and fuel production from Lanchow and Sion to keep things going. So I actually made a mod too, and I'm actually playing that game against Goodbye, and this is the mod that I made. Let me bring it up. Let's see. Okay, so this is the mod that I made, which is called Scenario 1.5, and basically it's Scenario 2 that I've cut back to make it somewhere in between Scenario 1 and Scenario 2, because Scenario 2 is just out of control. So you'll notice here, like, some stuff. I did fix some broken radar stuff in the database. So the Japanese had basically a broken radar device upgrade link for a lot of its ground forces, which I've fixed. I've cut back the monthly pilot pools and put them somewhere in between 1 and 2. I put the KA-44 back to have an HA-34 engine, but I increased the starting pool of them. And I've removed a lot of the starting extra squadrons that the Japanese get in scenario 2 because there's just too many, right? It was way too many aircraft. I've cut them back. I fixed some stuff in the home islands where the airfield sizes were only 1, but they're production bases and you couldn't move enough supply in there without going into a spoilage. So I fixed that. And I've also built up this thing in the home islands where each, more or less, there's 18 bases on the home islands that will generate 40 supply per day automatically. No matter what, it can't be bombed, it can't be destroyed. A lot of the allied bases in China have this already. So basically, it's an additional 720 supply per day production in the home islands forever that cannot be bombed. And I added 500 light industry centers throughout Manchukuo and Korea with an associated amount of resources to cover them to add another 500 supply per day to Korea. What else did I do? Oh, I got rid of a lot of the shimikazes and stuff that you get, and I removed a lot of different ships from the ordered battle because they were getting way too many. Also took out a couple of the extra divisions that the Japanese get, like the 5th Guards and the Guards Tank Division. I removed those and changed some spawning positions for some other stuff. And then also here, I rebalanced the amount of starting resources that the Japanese get. So this is scenario 1, this is scenario 2, and then this is my scenario. So it's kind of in between, right? So, yeah. I'm playing that scenario against Goodbye now, and so far, I really like it. It seems a fair balance between getting a little bit more to work with without completely overwhelming the allies from turn 1. Scenario 2 is just too much. You know what? I'll tell you how I fell into this. I don't know what I was doing, but I was just perusing YouTube one day, and I tripped over... I think it was Lodrick and Strategy Gaming Dojo's game. I don't know how I found it, but I found it, and I started watching that video, and I'm like, holy crap, what is this game? This looks so cool. It's a strategy game, but there's like battles and stuff, and I really got invested in it. So I started watching Strategy Gaming Dojo, and I started watching Lodrick because he had a YouTube channel too. And I'm like, dude, this is so cool. And I saw how Lodrick was kicking Strategy Gaming Dojo's butt, and then Dojo disappeared off the face of the earth. And I'm like, you know what? I want to play this game. So I bought the game and I started learning it. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm better than that Dojo guy. I think I could do better than that. So I challenged Lodrick to play me because, you know, his game ended with Strategy Gaming Dojo's demise, and the rest is history. I started playing it. I thought, you know what? Those guys are doing it on YouTube. I'm going to do it on YouTube, but I think I can do it better. I think I can edit my videos better and be a little more compelling. You know, I built a Discord. We did start with 2-day turns because that's what he was doing with Dojo, but I did not like it. Because you just don't have enough control, in my opinion, right? If you make a bad decision, it gets repeated 2 days in a row. So I told him, listen, dude, I'm too new at this to be playing 2-day turns. Like, I'll do 1-day turns, but like 2-day turns, I'm not enjoying it. Like, it's too much happening. I felt like I needed more control over the turn than letting it happen for 2 days in a row before I got it back. Yeah, I think Dojo just wanted to move the campaign along faster because obviously it's, you know, 2 for the price of 1, but if you don't know what you're doing or you're not good enough, it's very hard to play that way. Here's the other problem with Dojo. he knew how the game worked because he taught me. I watched all 10 hours of his tutorial videos, and that's what taught me how to play the game. Um, Dojo's problem was he had too many fires burning. That guy's channel had 900 videos on it in the space of a year. He was playing like 20 different games, had 10 different series going on. So there's just no way that he could focus his energy on just War in the Pacific, right? He played this and he was playing that and playing this and playing that, making videos 4 or 5 times a day. There's no way that he could really pay attention to what he was doing in this game to be effective. He's just too busy. Too busy being a YouTuber and not busy enough playing the game. I think that's why I lost. Anyway, guys, I've been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. I think that's long enough. I want to thank you all for being here. If you have any more questions, you come over to my Discord, ask me. This video will turn into like it'll turn into a video after the fact. You can just keep posting questions to it, and I'll be happy to answer them. But my mouth is getting a little dry. I'm gonna go have some gin. Thank you guys for being here. I really enjoyed this. I love these live streams because I like to engage with you guys over here. So thanks for being here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.